All right, TV Guide, fall preview. So this would be the biggest issue of the year, each year for TV Guide. This is 1996, so not as many people would be buying the TV Guide at that point, but this will still be a great snapshot into what was going on in 96 and also some of the new shows. So let's get into this one here, and this is a fairly thick, maybe one of the thickest TV guides I've ever gone through. Season premiere. So this may not have been the first year of Third Rock, because it doesn't say series premiere. Check out this ad here, though. This is pretty cool, and they don't do this often in a TV guide. Got something called Mr. Rhodes, Something So Right. You can see in 96 with a lot more channels to choose from. Even the big channels like NBC were throwing shows out there that didn't catch on. But there's Justine Bateman, and then Suddenly Susan definitely caught on. And we'll see if these are new shows in 96 or not. We'll see by going through this this issue here. Yeah, a lot of pages in this. Pages are kind of thin. This is a pretty great snapshot right here. Dark Skies, The Pretender, Profiler were all pretty good shows that lasted a few years. And then Superman, the animated series, all-time classic. With Dana Delaney doing the voice of Lois Lane. Ford Escort. 11 grand for an Escort. Those things would get like 40 plus miles to the gallon way back in the 90s. Alright, we got Dish TV. What in the world is this? Flamingo's Boogie. Okay. The Season at a Glance. Not sure what they're referring to, if these are all new shows or what. There's a guy from Princess Bride. Oh wow, 42 new shows. So it's showing, I guess, how many new shows in 95 versus 96, and about the same amount. And this is saying welcome back, so these are all returning shows. Looks like Annie Potts was on something. Going from Love and War to Dangerous Minds. I don't know. We'll have to get into it. All right, so I think these are going to be the new shows. Why they do art instead of pictures for some of them, I don't know. But yeah, I think all these that we're going to see here are going to be the new shows in fall of 96. Dark Skies. I never watched that, but I think it was pretty decent sci-fi that lasted a few years, and maybe it bounced to a different network, I'm not sure. Early Edition I've talked about before. I thought that was a cool show. If you don't remember that, the premise was this dude would get like tomorrow's newspaper or something every morning. So he would know what was going to happen, and he would try to like save people or whatever based on this. That's what the early edition was, this early edition of this newspaper he would get. If it sounds funky, it was a good show, trust me. Pretender was good. I think this dude could like mimic people or something. I don't remember what the premise was, but it was a solid show. Common Law. What we got going here? ABC. Oh, that's Greg Giraldo. He was a great comedian. R.I.P. incredibly talented comedian. He was on some of those Comedy Central roasts. I recognize Megan Price, but I don't really recognize her name. There's our girl. Love and Marriage. This one doesn't ring a bell at all. That dude, I think, was on Crime Story. I think he was the villain on Crime Story in the 80s. That's our girl from Sin of a Woman. Come on, folks. You know her. Kimberly Williams. Something called Relativity. The Concept. An affair to remember with young leads. A young woman goes to Italy to mull over marriage. Wow, so they got a whole show based on that? Guess you can be mulling over marriage for a long time. Profiler was a good, solid, sort of forensic procedural show. Both of those actors were good in it. You guys like Profiler in the 90s? Big deal. Yeah, it's hard to get a context when it's just got a goofy drawing here. Mark DiCarlo. Let's make a deal from the 90s. Nah, hard pass on that. And this, I know it's hard to talk about this dude now, but this was not the Cosby Show, but in the 90s he came out with this show called Cosby, and it was pretty good. It had more of a cynical sense of humor. Dougie Doug was on it. What's her name? The young girl was on it. The girl from... shoot. But anyway, it was a good comedy. Completely lost to time. It's interesting they have all these ads, because that usually means that you're selling a lot of copies of your product if you can carry a lot of ads. So maybe people were still buying the TV Guide in the 90s. There's Annie Potts. She's in Dangerous Minds. Oh, it's based on that Michelle Pfeiffer movie. Oh dear. We know that didn't catch on, much as I like Annie Potts. Even that Dangerous Minds movie, it was really big in the 90s. It's a dumb movie. This is Ink. I've never heard of that. I was going to say this is Becker, but this is something different. And that's his real-life wife, if you guys don't know. I wonder if they met on this show. This Ink show. Jack and Carrie have signed the divorce papers, but they still have to work together. A New York City newspaper. Sounds like a decent premise. Two good actors. She's very charming, and she's been in some other stuff. Mr. Rhodes, starring some guy named Tom Rhodes. What are they doing? I mean, it's the 90s. It was a weird time. Don't recognize any other names or faces there. Well, that guy, he was great on Deadwood, if you remember. Who did he play? Oh, he played like a Weasley sort of politician, like a local administrator guy. She looks familiar too. Party Girl, starring Christine Taylor. I think that's the girl who married Ben Stiller. So, God bless her for having to marry Ben Stiller. I think she was also in like that 90s Brady Bunch movie. I think that's who Christine Taylor is. By day, the vivacious Mary works at the New York Public Library. By night, she's a downtown club crawler. Wow. It's almost like a precursor to like Sex and the City or something. Lush Life. Hard pass on that. Gerald McRaney. I vaguely remember this Promised Land show. I think it was a solid kind of family drama. Not a lot of big names in it. Despite having no money or prospects, laid off factory worker, piles his family to pick up, begins to cruise America. That actually sounds really good. I bet it didn't last very long. I want to look that up now, but probably will either forget or not find it out there in the ether. You guys got to be my foot soldiers and find some of this stuff. Life's Work. I'm always in favor of like family type deals that aren't super contrived. This looks decent, but I don't think it caught on. At least I don't remember Life's Work. Baltimore woman tries to juggle 2 kids and a husband, demanding a new job as state's attorney. Something so right. Well, I did say I like family shows. Mel Harris from 30-something. That dude. She's super familiar too. Yeah, lots of ads. All right, here's a classic, Spin City. I did not realize Carla Gugino was on there. Wow. I mean, come on, we're all Carla Gugino fans, are we not? Yeah, this was a good show that was pretty popular for a few years with Michael J. Fox, and it's great that he continued after Family Ties and found some success, because that doesn't always happen. Didn't know she was in it. I wonder if she only stuck around for like 1 season or something. Okay, so here's that Rhea Perlman thing. Looks like they're trying to make her carry her own show, which, you know, she's cool, but she's not going to carry her own show. And I think that's a dude from like Clockwork Orange. I don't know why that guy. Why is he a thing? Why was Malcolm McDowell? Why was Malcolm McDowell? Please tell me. You guys never answer these for me. All right, this is why I want to go through this. I saw this show just a few days ago, and I was like, what is this? Because it's got 3 big stars in it. There's our girl that went on to be in Gilmore Girls. There's our girl from Dharma and Greg. And we got Molly Ringwald. And you know who else was on this? Billy Burr. Bill Burr. He was credited as Billy Burr back then. So it was called Townies. It was a little sitcom. I guess it was based in Boston or wherever. But I mean, look at the star power on this little sitcom that nobody probably ever heard of, called Townies. Like I said, both of these girls became huge stars in the 90s, and obviously Ringwald. So have you guys ever heard of Townies? Now you have. I'll read the premise, although the episode I looked at did not look super engaging, but I mean, you got great stars on it. 3 women in New England seaport town, waitress in a fish house, cope with dysfunctional parents, and dream of the good life. Yeah, it had Bill Burr and some other people in it as like, you know, additional cast members. Public morals. Look how serious these folks are. Never heard of this, and I don't recognize a lot of these actors. That guy's kind of familiar. Barney Miller for the 90s. I don't think so. Oh, this is another Stephen Bochco. Man, I think he had a lot of failed shows. He should probably get more grief for that. Yeah, this was a fun show. I remember watching this a few times in the 90s. We got Justine Bateman. We got Rob Schneider, and that dude was a big 90s star too. It was a decent show. They say live action Beavis and Butthead. It wasn't that bad. It was just 2 guys and the girl and, you know, playing off of each other and stuff. Easy Streets with Joey Pants and the guy from 30-something. Okay. Folks, we always discover stuff in these things. Obviously, this didn't catch on. It's got some good stars in it. We got Joey Pants. We got Ken Olin. We got that dude who went on to be in like Third Watch or something. And then we got Deborah Ferrentino, which I've seen her in other stuff too. Maloney. Lots of new shows. This is interesting. It's always fun to see some of this stuff. Peter Strauss. Nick Maloney is a man of dichotomies. He's a psychiatrist and a cop. Okay. There's our girl Brooke. This show was pretty popular. Suddenly Susan. I never watched it, but it also had Judd Nelson. It had some good, Kathy Griffin. So it had some good supporting people as well as Brooke. Apparently Brooke in real life has like a really good sense of humor and doesn't take herself too seriously. This show became big. Sabrina the Teenage Witch with Melissa Joan Hart. I have a friend who worked on the post-production on this show. Yeah, this show went on for several years and was pretty popular. Made Melissa Joan Hart a pretty big star. All right, I guess we got to come across some rotten eggs in this episode, and here's one of them. So yeah, this premiered in '96. It became a huge star all into the 2000s. A hugely popular show into the 2000s. Incredibly unfunny, mean-spirited show. Maybe that's why people liked it, because they like people smarting off at their family members and stuff. Here, we've talked about this one before. This was the spin-off, but as you can see, pretty good cast. She played like the mean girl. We got Stacey Dash back from the movie, and we got a different girl playing Alicia Silverstone. But this was a fun little show, little sitcom. It had the same guy, Donald Faison, I think is his name. Same guy from the movie too, and then a few other guys. But this was solid. What are we doing here? Maria Bello. I mean, it's a good couple cast members here, but Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I Spy with Nick and Nora. Wow. This feels like... All right, here you go. You guys are here for these tangents and stuff. This feels like a ripoff of True Lies, as was that stupid movie with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie by the same title. Clearly a ripoff of True Lies. I bet Jim Cameron never got any royalties from this blatant ripoff. But maybe the Angelina Jolie movie was like based on this show. Yeah, they're trying to compare it to Remington Steele. Get out of here. Remington Steele's a classic. Millennium, there you go. So everybody who watched X-Files, when this came on, I guess came on in '96, everybody watched this. And it was pretty solid, sort of sci-fi type show. Small screen, Silence of the Lambs. Oh, interesting. So it looks like they're separating it in. I didn't even notice this till now. Maybe these were all the Fox shows. And then, no, that says ABC, because now we're talking about the WB, and they got them separate for some reason. Seventh Heaven. I guess this show became an all-time classic with our girl Jessica Alba. No, Jessica Biel. I'm sorry, I always get the Jessicas mixed up. Jessica Biel. Yeah, so you guys know Seventh Heaven. I think that dude ended up becoming a creepo. Life with Roger was a decent show, I think. Maybe I'm thinking of a different show. Steve Harvey show was very popular. A pure ripoff of Hanging with Mr. Cooper, right up to the whole point of like he's a school teacher. Total complete ripoff of Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Made this dude a star. Never been a fan of Steve Harvey, and that's just another reason not to be. Because the guy from Hanging from Mr. Cooper is a funny comedian. Nick Freno, licensed teacher. Never heard of this one. Just checking the names. I mean, I recognize that guy. Looks like most of the rest of them are kids. Just seeing if there's any standout stars on there. And then Jamie Foxx got his own show, and that was popular for several years. So we're seeing some classics in this one that became popular shows, which is always fun. Because you never know when they premiere and when they come out if they're going to catch on or if they're just going to go away quickly. All right, now we got the UPN. Wow, it's got some big names in it. Malcolm and Eddie, that's another one that became popular. Good Behavior, Good. Is that Sherman Hemsley? Yeah, it is. Let's see. Let's read the write-up on this one from the UPN. William Good has just been paroled from Club Fed. He must now live under house arrest with his son, who he hasn't seen in 15 years. That sounds funny. I mean, it sounds interesting. Sparks. That kind of rings a bell. I mean, there's some huge names on here. We got Robin Givens. We got Terrence Howard. We got the dad from Fresh Prince. We got, what's his name guy. And she's familiar too. Yeah, James Avery, Miguel Nunez Jr. Some good names on here. But I don't think it caught on. LA Law But Funny, it says. And it's just a half-hour comedy. It's not a full hour. Huh. Terrence Howard must have been one of his early roles. I really like him. That's just me. And UPN's got almost all black shows, which is great that they're doing that. Homeboys in Outer Space. And that's the dude from Different World. Nerdy guy. The Burning Zone. Okay. We know that didn't catch on. But that's a guy from, what was that? The Best Man? And other stuff. Outbreak on a weekly basis. Special squad of scientists battle the virus. Interesting. Never heard of the Burning Zone. Primetime cable series. Okay. It's the first time I've seen that in one of these, and this is pretty interesting. So like Bravo, A&E, some original shows that I guess they're premiering. There's Meshach Taylor. A&E's got something called The Unexplained. Bravo's got Naked Classics. CNN, get real. Comedy Central. Comedy on Delivery. Pulp Comics. Rodman was big in the 90s. Folks, I really need an answer. Why was Arliss? Why was Arliss? I need an answer. Why was the show, and why was that guy who was Arliss? Court TV. So I guess Arliss premiered in 96. History Channel, Inspector Gadget's Field Trip. Wow, it says it's debuting, so it's not just like a one-time Inspector Gadget special. It's Bumbling Cartoons plays tour guide. I want to look that up now. Inspector Gadget's Field Trip on the History Channel. Sounds like kind of like a Where is Carmen Sandiego type ripoff. There's probably some other good ones in here, but I'm not going to be able to read them all because it's just text. There's no good pictures and stuff. But it looks like that Rodman had his own show on MTV called Rodman World Detour. I kind of remember that in the back of my brain somewhere. TNN's got New Adventures of Robin Hood, starring somebody you never heard of. It's always a good idea. Just put somebody you never heard of as your star. Shooting for the Moon. I guess some dude with his shirt off, which this was kind of a 90s deal here with Hercules and Fabio and all those people. Man, they got all kinds of stuff in here, but kind of boring because it's mostly text. But we got Anthony, what's his name, from Top Gun, and Eric Roberts in some kind of made-for-TV movie. Catching Gold? No, George Clooney's got some movie, I guess. Arthur. Yeah, it's easier when they have pictures because you can quickly see like Anthony Edwards, but otherwise I don't want to read through all these. It's like Maury Helgenberg's got some show, some movie. Dude's fighting an octopus. I don't think you can win a fight with an octopus, especially if you're in the ocean, but that could just be my opinion. All right, this is Maul Flanders. Who's in it? They look pretty serious. Are they getting burned at the stake or something? Maul Flanders. Alex Kingston. John Woo's Once a Thief. MacGyver. Airborne Virus. I'll reserve my comments on why they were obsessed with viruses in the 90s. I'll reserve my commentary on that. The Shining, I do remember this. They tried to make The Shining and stretch it out into a whole mini-series because I guess Stephen King's book, they were trying to be more faithful to Stephen King's book. It was awful. Like, you can't really top Kubrick, and it was really bad. I watched it because I was such a Shining fan. It was super slow. I don't know. It was not good. Elizabeth Hurley as Delilah. Come on, folks. That's pretty tempting. Wouldn't you watch Elizabeth Hurley as Delilah? I would. I didn't realize she played Delilah. Was it on HBO? Let's see if we can find it. Bear with me while I try to find that. Yeah, I don't see it here. But it says Delilah. Maybe it's on the next page? I don't know. I'm intrigued, especially if it was an HBO movie. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's on TNT. Still, though, Elizabeth Hurley. TNT made a couple good movies in the 2000s, so they might have been decent. Wow, they're going all in here. Schindler's List. Role models. I mean, it's a good snapshot of the 90s here. Jason Priestley, Gloria Rubin. Wait a minute, the Flintstones. Could anybody holler like Wilma? Oh, it looks like these are just movies that are coming on, that were in the theaters, that are coming on regular TV sometime in the 96. All right. Oh, there's Keanu in that movie, Walk in the Clouds. Yeah. Never saw that, but I think it might have been decent. Look at Gloria looking fabulous over here. Gloria Estefan, underrated singer, had a great low range. Go back and listen to Gloria Estefan songs and take note of her low range. A lot of people can't do it like that. Alright, we don't care about the Braves. Braves were everywhere in the 90s. Thankfully, they never won. The only year they won, it was like a strike-shortened year. So I put a big asterisk by that. I don't know about this guy, Dan Aykroyd. He was in some funny movies in the 80s, though. Spies Like Us, Ghostbusters. There's Baywatch. Baywatch on Patrol or Beach Patrol. Oh. The Baywatch ripoff. Because they even have the red trunks and stuff. Kids. Beast Wars. I think that was Transformers, or maybe I'm wrong about that. Dragon Ball Z. There you go, Arthur. You guys grew up on Arthur, perhaps? I was too young. I was too old. I grew up on like Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street. Jumanji. The animation kind of looks like a Ren and Stimpy type animation or whatever. Sky Dancers. Were you guys watching Sky Dancers in '96? What's this? Doctor in a House? Huh. So a Nickelodeon show that has a bunch of Dr. Zeus stuff on it. Never heard of that. Jim Henson Productions. That might be solid. That might be pretty good. It's called The Wubbleless World of Dr. Zeus, if you want to look it up. We might have to linger on this ad because we got the 90s music people in here. We got Bush. I liked them. Some people hate them. Tracy Chapman. Shania was everywhere in '96. Jewel was everywhere. No Doubt was everywhere. Natalie Merchant. I'd take Natalie Merchant over Jewel or No Doubt. There's a Seal. All right, we'll go through each day, but here's a great snapshot, and this is pretty useful because it not only shows you what's on prime time all week long, but it's got the new shows in bold. So this is a super cool way to do it. I see Star Trek Voyager. We'll see these as we go through it. Looks like Married with Children was still on in '96, which I didn't realize. Look at this. Terry Hatcher. Sculder and Mully, or Mulder and Scully, or whatever their names were. Yeah, there's Ted Danson and his wife. I think they're still married. Here's all the channels. We got a lot to look for now because we got UPN, we got WB, and we got Fox. Where's the WB? Saturday morning, 1996. Saved by the Bell. Might have been the new cast at that point. Bill Nye. Some cartoon called Dark Stalkers. They had some little harder edge cartoons in the 90s because I remember that Gargoyles was somewhat serious for a cartoon, but still great. Some cartoon called Dragonflies with a Z. Cartoon called Monster Mania. Were you guys watching Monster Mania? Dragonflies? Sea Bear and Jamal. Felix the Cat. Beetleborgs. I vaguely remember that. Cartoon called Princess Guinevere. They had a lot to offer back then. I don't know how much of it was good. Sky Surfer Strike Force. Man, Reboot had to be on, but I haven't seen it yet here. Spider-Man, there you go. Great cartoon. The 90s version. Goosebumps. Fantastic Four cartoon. I never watched that. Probably terrible. The X-Men and there's X-Men. X-Men and Spider-Man were the good ones. And of course, Batman. Yeah, there's Gargoyles. Solid if you've never seen it. Like better than average. No, I'm not just saying like it was good or whatever. It was a pretty strong cartoon. So was The Tick if you've never seen that cartoon. 90s had some good cartoons, man. Because they had Animaniacs and that other stuff too. All right, let's check out Prime Time. And then we'll see some fun ads. Saturday night, 1996. Second Noah. Be interesting to know what that is. Maybe I'll look for it at 7. Dr. Quinn, Touched by an Angel, Walker. Who's going to watch Political Talk? Hopefully nobody. Stand Up, Night Court. Let's see what's coming on like MTV and stuff. Buzzkill, I vaguely remember that. And of course we got Real World and Road Rules, but these would be the early seasons, which were halfway decent, I think. My So-Called Life was on MTV, I guess. House of Style, remember that show on MTV? Beavis and Butthead. MTV was, unfortunately, they were moving away from music videos, but they had some decent shows in the 90s. Oh, here's Second Noah. These people look young, pretty young to be Noah. I'll try to read the write-up if there is one. Okay, here we go. Second season of this show. Okay. James Marsden. Ricky pulls away from Darby when she pushes for marriage. So it's not like kind of a nighttime soap type deal. Hard pass on that. Yeah, I never heard of Second Noah. I don't know why they call it Noah. HBO Crime of the Century. Oh, the Lindenberg baby. I don't know if they ever solved that. Maybe they did. Miss America pageant's coming on in September of 96. Your phone call can determine the next Miss America, hosted by Regis. Tales from the Crypt was another 90s staple. 90s might have been the last really good decade for TV. I'm going to stand by that statement. Sopranos is way overrated, etc. Premiere week, earn a free long distance. There's Gerald McRaney and that show about going across country. Who's that chick? There's our Touched by an Angel. We're in Wisconsin, so we got to have the Packers on. All right, Sunday night, 1996. Barbara Walters, Touched by an Angel. Third Rock, Boston Common. This movie, Neil Simon's London Suite. I never heard of that one. All right, Hercules and Xena, Babylon 5. MTV's got Singled Out. Aeon Flux is coming on MTV. The Unabomber. There's a hilarious skit about, if you guys were around in the 90s, you remember for a year or more, maybe a couple years, all they had was this sketch of who they thought the Unabomber was. And you got to see the skit, and unfortunately it's not on the internet anywhere, but there's a hilarious skit where it was the sketch artist. And the sketch famously just has a guy in a hoodie with sunglasses. and it's Norm Macdonald playing the sketch artist. And the reason I'm going to kind of give it away here, because you can't find it on the internet, unfortunately. But they're like, oh, why did you draw him with a hood? And the sketch artist is Norm Macdonald's like, I'm not very good at drawing hair. And they're like, what do his eyes look like? You know, he's just got sunglasses on. He's like, I'm not too good at drawing eyes, so I just put sunglasses on. But it's a great, send up of that useless sketch that they put on the news constantly, like people were supposed to identify who he was. Touched by an Angel and Promised Land. Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by that Promised Land. I wonder how long that lasted. Yeah, there's that Ricochet movie. John Lithgow played a pretty good villain in that, as much as I hate to admit it. Weddings of a Lifetime. Back when the two Twin Towers were still up, back in the 90s. This is a girl from, what's that show? Oh, okay, this says Steve Martini, Undue Influence. I guess Steve Martini was like one of those John Grisham type dudes. But we got Patrick Dennehy and Patricia Richardson and Gene Smart. So that's a good cast. Probably a well-written movie, if nothing else. Check this out. London Suite. Oh, this is that Neil Simon thing. Look at all these stars that are in it. We got Kramer. We got the Silverman guy. We got Elaine. We got Third Rock Lady and Frasier. We got Madeline Kahn. I mean, they put everybody in it. Oh, I guess they have their names right there. Kristen Johnson, not Third Rock Lady. The West, PBS. Oh, this is a Ken Burns deal? What's the verdict on Ken Burns? You guys tell me. I know what my verdict is, but I'd like to hear it from you guys, from the people. Leave a comment. From the maker of baseball and the Civil War since the West. Wow, I've never seen this one. I wonder if it was so terrible they never re-showed it. Because it's oh, maybe it's just a one-night deal instead of he made those mini-series, but maybe this is just a one-night one. No, it says Sunday through Thursday. Wow, so why have we never heard of this? I want to look that up now. I'll probably forget though. Come on, guys. Tell me what the verdict is on Ken Burns. Be honest. Here's some great 90s movies. I saw Broken Arrow in theaters. I tried to watch Mr. Holland's Opus finally a couple years ago. Pretty unwatchable, but that's just me. If you liked it, it's all good. Yeah, anyway, let's keep going. This is a long one, folks, but hey, it's the fall preview. They're always chunky. Let's see what's coming on Monday. And we'll probably see a couple more fun ads each night of the week. Mike Holmgren football. So I guess if you lived in Wisconsin, you could watch Mike Holmgren talk football for a whole half hour. So Cosby's coming on Monday night with Pearl, with Rhea Perlman. Murphy Brown still on. Sybil's was a popular show in Chicago Hope. So pretty strong. I think that was CBS. Melrose Place. Party Girl, that rings a bell. TV's bloopers. Greatest sports moment of all time. Okay, that might be good. All sports combined into one show. Greatest of all time. Deep Space Nine. Probably still new shows at that point. In the House. Yeah, that rings a bell. Sparks. The Simpsons coming on with Martin. Lots to still watch in the 90s, I would say, even though I wasn't watching a ton of TV. Yes, these are both new premieres, so they got some big ads for them. And Malcolm McDowell, dude. Jeez. Here we go. Melrose. Really popular show. My only thing that irks me a little bit about Melrose is, in some ways, it was Heather Locklear's like biggest role, most famous role. And she played like a bad girl, and it doesn't really fit. Like Heather Locklear is the sweetheart from T.J. Hooker, but she's probably best known for being like the mean girl on Melrose. But anyway, there's Leah Thompson. Oh, this is that bloopers show. There's Silverman again. Should I do it? Yeah. Why was Jonathan Silverman? Somebody tell me. Look at Tiffany Amber. She got her own movie. Who wouldn't tune in for that? You guys fan of the short haircut on Tiffany? I am. I think when she went short, she found her perfect look. So it looks like she's in some serious movie. Murder, Betrayal. Also starring Amy Yazerback and some dudes. Here's some more great ads. That's why we love these TV guides. Murphy Brown. Like I said, I remember Murphy Brown being the late 80s thing. And then Sybil was pretty popular. Alright. Yeah, there's that Party Girl. Yeah, we saw that before. I'm going to have to take a hard pass on that one again for the second time. Chicago Hope was pretty popular with that dude. Fun 90s show, in my opinion. Brings back good memories. Sure, I'm missing a few things on these late night things. We got Baywatch and syndication. Tom Schneider is going to interview Don Johnson. All right, Tuesday, prime time. Maybe that Steve Martini's thing was a multiple night deal in that movie. Roseanne, Life's Work, Home Improvement, Spin City. It's pretty strong. And then something called High Incident. Maybe we'll try to see what that is. I think I already forgot to do that once here. Mad About You, Frasier, Caroline in the City. That's pretty strong also. Promised Land. That's the one with Gerald McCraney, I think. Okay, Deep Space Nine's on again, so maybe those are like syndications. Moesha. The Burning Zone. Simpsons again. Family Channel's showing Three Stooges. You guys should watch some Three Stooges and try to see how did they do those stunts, because they did some insane stunts where you could probably injure somebody, and that was long before special effects. Here we go, some more great ads. Roseanne still on in 96. Premiere of Spin City, soon to be a classic. There's our girl Carla again. She must not have stayed on there, because I don't associate her with that show at all. Home Improvement was great comedy, still is. I mean, it holds up. We were going to look at 10 o'clock for that thing. This was a well-loved comedy in the 90s. Caroline in the City with Leah. Something So Right, yeah. Promised Land, I like the premise of that. Tombstone, I've done a rant on Tombstone before. Tombstone's the good one, and the one that Kevin Costner made Wyatt Earp was the terrible one. Let's look for that 10 o'clock show if we can. There's our girl Leah. Yeah, there's a continuation of that movie. Wow, they got lots of ads, which is great. High Incident. Look how serious Blair Underwood looks. Sneak preview. She looks familiar. Actually, all three of them do. All right, 10 o'clock. Yeah, I don't even see that show I was going to look for now. I know it came on at 10. All right. We'll keep it moving. Wednesday night. Townies. There's that show I told you about with Molly Ringwald. Don't call her Molly Ringworm. She was great. We love her. Ellen. Grace Under Fire. Drew Carey. Yeah, some 90s staples right there. The Nanny. Wings. I mean, those are all-time classics from the 90s. John Larroquette. News Radio. That Men Behaving Badly with Justine Bateman. 90210, Party of Five with Jennifer Love. And then The West by, what's his name? Yeah, there are girls again. Like I said, I think this comedy really did not do well at all, but those two became huge stars, so it's good that they kept parlayed it into some hit shows. Because we love Dharma and Greg, don't we? We at least love Dharma. Probably forgot about Greg. There's the Nanny. It's like she's hanging out with Jason Richards for some reason. Or Jason Alexander. Jeez. The things these gals have to do to make it. Yeah, there's a new comedy, Wings, News Radio. Law and Order, there we go. Yeah, this was like a made-for-TV movie, Rockford. I don't know about those. The original show was good, though. Party of Five. Let's see who else is on there. Lacey Chabert was on there? I didn't know that. I never watched Party of Five. Nev, that's the one I always forget. Nev Campbell, huge star in the 90s, is in the Scream movies. Maury Povich. High Incident, Behind Closed Doors, Turning Point. Those sound pretty serious. Diagnosis Murder, Maloney, Friends. Oh yeah, it's Thursday night. Single Guy, Seinfeld, Suddenly Susan, Pretender, Martin, Living Single, New York Undercover. Yeah, lots of competition. What was that show? Well, I don't know if I want to look all these up, but High Incident. Diagnosis Murder. Oh, there's that Maloney show. Suddenly Susan. The Single Guy with Ernest Borgnine. That's hilarious. Borgnine brings it, man. Oh, there's High Incident. Okay. Here's our girl Rachel. Everybody wanted to have a haircut like her. Did you guys watch The Pretender back in the day? It's a pretty solid show. All right, Friday night, and then we'll get into some back matter. I see the Friday night staples: Sliders and X-Files, Hour-Long Family Matters, Clueless, Boy Meets World, Dave's World, Everybody Loves Raymond, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Nash Bridges, Sliders. Sliders was a solid sci-fi. Lots of good sci-fi from the 90s. Maybe the golden age of TV sci-fi. Oh, Dave's World, yeah, with what's his name? Yeah. There's the girls from Clueless. Okay, here's where he's going to Paris, so that's why it's an hour long. Yeah, it's a fun show. You know, nothing too serious, but fun. Check it out. What a great ad. Jerry O'Connell from Stand By Me. Yeah, there's the sketch I was talking about, folks. You got to see the skit, but it's really funny. It's so funny the way they did it. They showed that sketch on TV for like 2 years. Wow, UFC in 96. That's amazing. So this would be UFC 9. It's UFC 11 already. Those first 2 or 3 UFCs are insane if you haven't seen them. Talk about no rules. Here's that rip-off show. Homicide Life on the Street. Yeah. Really good show. Too bad it didn't catch on like, or stay on like LA Law did. Because it was probably, overall, it's probably better than, I'm not LA Law, Law and Order. Because overall, it's probably better than Law and Order. Whitaker Riviera. Alright, there'll be a few things in the back, and that'll be about it. I guess, yeah, here's the movie guide. This is always fun. Let's take a quick gander at this. This is always fun, in my opinion. The Amazing Panda Adventure. They gave it 2 stars. Ace Ventura. I didn't like Jim Carrey at the time, but I've learned to appreciate some of his movies. The first Ace Ventura was pretty funny. He's like 1,000,000 times funnier than Adam Sandler. Biloxi Blues, we've seen that one before in one of these. Blood Fist 7. You guys like Blood Fist 7, or were you more Blood Fist 6 fans? Let me know in the comments. Care Bear's Adventure in Wonderland. Chaplin with Robert Downey. I think it's a pretty well-loved movie, even though they only gave it 2 stars. Got something called Choo Choo and Philly Flash with Alan Arkin and Carol Burnett. That's probably pretty good. And Danny Aiello. Clear and Present Danger. Dumbo. Looks like this is the original Disney one. I gave it 4 stars. Dumbo's got a trippy scene where it's like he gets drunk and he sees pink elephants or something. Ewoks Battle for Endor. Wow. They're showing it on the Discover Channel, I guess. You guys, Blood Fist 6 or Ewoks Battle for Endor? Which one? That rings a bell, Crime of the Century. I'm not going to go back and read it, though. Great Gatsby, that's the one with, yeah, that's a pretty good adaptation. The one with Robert Redford. Not that absurd one that's in 3D with Leonardo DiCaprio. Forget Paris. I think Deborah Winger might be in that. Last American Hero. Jefferson in Paris with Gwyneth Paltrow. Interesting. That would have been pretty early in her career. What's the verdict on Gwyneth? You guys let me know. Midnight Run. I've talked about that before. Great fun comedy. Recommend it. Room with a View is good. I might have talked about that before. Helena Bonham Carter. Good drama. I'm a fan of good dramas. Out for Justice with Seagal. Usual Suspects. Wow. There you go. Some people love that movie. A little too violent, nihilistic for me, but I could admit that it's a good movie. Short Circuit 2. I recently watched that, or parts of it. I think I saw that in theaters as a kid. Student Bodies. Star Trek Generations. Remember that? That was the first Next Generation movie. Pretty solid, but some people hate it. I thought it was solid though. True Lies. What a great movie. For some reason you can't get that on DVD now. And if you guys haven't seen, you should look up the video on YouTube where Jim Cameron used AI to like fix his 4K movies or whatever, convert them to 4K. There's a great breakdown on YouTube of just put in like Jim Cameron 4K AI or something or other, and it shows like seeing some of the stills of how terrible it was, and you got to wonder why somebody as powerful and rich as James Cameron just said, yeah, let's just use AI to do it. If you care about movie quality. Here's a crossword from 96. And that'll do it. Pretty great. Hopefully we discovered a few things you weren't aware of and brought back some memories. And see you on the next one.